What are we learning from action movies? Men and women in the past still have the same hero qualities as the newer men and women in the movies do. Why, you ask? Because most of the older action movies had one main hero that would save the day, just like in the newer movies today. An example would be Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones, the main protagonist, had heroic traits like bravery, courage, and intelligence. He was brave because he would always fight anyone at any time and would always be there to save the day. Another character in Raiders was Marion. She was pretty independent most of the time and could take care of herself. She also outdrank two men in this movie. She outdrinks one of them to save herself and tries to sneak out, but it didn't work. Most of the time she could get out of one situation, but then couldn't fight the men because they were stronger than her, which in that case, Indy comes in and saves the day. Also, in Max Fury Road, the main hero in the movie was a female, Furiosa. She is determined, selfless, and brave. She was determined because the whole movie she was trying to save the lives and take them to the Greenland. She is also brave and doesn't need a man to save her like other females, like in Star Wars, when Princess Leia just sits in a room and waits for Luke Skywalker to come and save her. In a newer movie like The Spider-Verse, Miles, a teenage boy, turns into Spider-Man and has to save the day, just like every other action movie. Miles meets a couple of Spider-Man along the way, like Peter B. Parker, Gwen Stacy, Peter Porker, Penny Porker, and Spider-Noir. They are all superheroes from their dimension. Were all brave, strong, and quick thinkers. They also had different backgrounds and stories about why they became Spider-Man / Spider-Woman. Also, they were all different, showing that anyone can be a superhero. Things that made villains bad in Raiders was that they all had different beliefs than Indy. Dr. Renee Belloc wanted the Ark, but most likely for bad things, like taking over the world or even making himself more powerful. Also, they're very unlikable because they try to stop the good guy, aka Indy. In Mad Max Fury Road, the bad guys were unlikable because they did bad things to good people. They could have given more water to the non-wealthy people. The main villain, Immortal Joe, was very unlikable because of his lack of empathy towards most of the good characters throughout the movie, like Max, Furiosa, and their wives, and Nux, a war boy. Another thing that makes Immortal Joe a villain is he's very powerful, and we can see he's getting his armor on when the people beg him for water. In Spider-Verse, the main villains are Kingpin, Dr. Octopus, and Uncle Aaron. We can tell these are villains because they show powerfulness and a lack of empathy towards most people. Kingpin is the main one who shows more anger towards Spider-Man because of his dark background and feels that Spider-Man was the reason his family died. The henchmen, Tombstone, Green Goblin, and Scorpio, were bad, but not as bad as the main ones. They were mainly just doing what Kingpin told them to do, but they were still bad because they did it anyways. Uncle Aaron could fit both good and bad sides. He obviously is bad because he was hunting for Spider-Man and trying to kill him. But once we figured out who the Spider-Man was, he felt empathetic towards him because it was his nephew.